Okay. Okay. Why isn't that working? All right, folks, just trying to get the chat working here. It's always something. I only got like a minute. All right, we'll see if this works. I guess I'm downloading something. And then we'll start here at 8 o'clock. I better share these. All right. Be a few seconds a little behind tonight because it's not uncommon for me to jump on here and see that something has changed in the format. In fact, I'm growing to kind of expect it anymore. Truth be told. I gotta get that chat up working. One second here, folks. We're gonna get this working. Or not. All right, let's see here. Maybe I can. What this thing does. All right, I'm almost ready here, folks. I'm. Running into some issues here with the chat. But we'll figure that out as we go along. All right, so here we go. Hey everybody, this is Brian Hogue. Welcome to the ChillerNight Live pre-show. We're from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until a few minutes shy of 9 p.m. I sit here, I chat with you fine, frightening folks, you chiller maniacs, you, and we'll talk about the ChillerNight programming coming up on Stream TV at 9 p.m. Until then, we'll chat about all things horror, science fiction, paranormal related, and truthfully anything else you reasonably throw at me and each other. Now, let's see. I'm trying something here. I'm trying to get this. I jumped on here tonight, and lo and behold, the format is all different. Always love that. I don't know what that means. I'll click it. Should I click it? I don't know what that means. All right. It's going to be really hard for me to see your chats. Wow, why do they do it? Why do they do it this way? But I'm going to do my best. Cassandra says, hi, everybody. Hey, Cassandra. Tom says, chat working here. It's working, but the way I'm looking at it, I've got like a little slit that I'm trying to read. Normally, it's like I can see like a good deal of the page. And right now, I can only see like one at a time, and it's just driving me crazy. John says, good evening, everyone. Hey, John, thanks for joining us. Brian says hello, everybody. Hey, Brian. Dan says hi. Everyone's saying hello. John says, welcome. Happy St. Patrick's Day weekend. This is Crozak the Grand, and it's time for ChillerNight pre-show. And here, our favorite host, that luck imp and his pot of gold, Brian Hogue. All right, well, thank you, Crozak the Grand. Everybody have a good St. Patrick's Day. We did. We had a pretty good day. We went out, grabbed a bite to eat. It was pretty fun. Let's see. David says, good evening. Champagne popped and poured. Cheers. Good evening, David. Ladies Corn says, Brian, what's up, bro? Well, this, I guess. So, whew. I tell you what, it's hazardous me sitting out here every week in the dark domain of Jack Shadow. Brad says, it's a ChillerNight pre-show. Brian Hogue starring Brian Hogue. Now, spring is finally here. Here's Brian. What's on tonight, Brian? It's getting nicer out there, isn't it? All right, now here's the schedule. The movie at 9 o'clock, House on Haunted Hill. 10:30. ChillerNight Theater, the movie is The Mad Monster. 12:05. ChillerNight Theater, the movie is Track of the Moon Beast. 1:40 a.m. The movie is Terror Creatures from the Grave. There you have it. There's our ChillerNight television lineup here. All right, looks like a pretty good lineup, I think. I'm gonna try something else. Should I? I'm going to try this setting thing again. Is it working? No. Wow. That's going to be tough. But we're going to get through it. Bonehead says, hey, hello, ChillerNight crew, Brian and Ava. How's it going tonight, Bonehead? Let's see. That says, Brian, I bet Miss Glam is going to like your shirt tonight. Oh, yeah. A little spider there. I bet she will. Hope she joins us tonight. Terrence says, hello, ChillerNight Theater fam. Hey there, Terrence. Thanks for joining us. I wonder if I wonder what this thing does. Probably not the best time for me to go experimenting. Hey, what's this do? Daggone it. All right. Well, this is where we're at. This is what I have to work with, so we're gonna do it. Just wish this thing would behave itself. All right. So you saw the schedule. House on Haunted Hill, of course, with Vincent Price. I think you all agree that that's a fine selection to choose from. Lisanne says hello. Hey, Lisanne, thanks for joining us. Famous last words, Tom says. What's this button do? Lisa Quinn says, speaking of spiders, last night I learned that there are 27 million tons of spiders on Earth. How did you learn that? What scenario would you learn that? Okay, 27 million tons of spiders on Earth. Wow, that's crazy. Dan says, rest in peace, Godzilla icon, Akira Takarada. Hope I pronounced that right. Passed away March 14th. Which one was it? What did he play Godzilla? Was he one of the actors in the costume, or was he one of the regular actors on the series of movies? That I don't know. I'm not familiar with that name, but March 14th he passed away. Glam says, I heard my name, and here I am. Howdy, all. Brian, your shirt gets 8 thumbs up. All right. Awesome. Terrence says, Brian, I tried to catch a leprechaun crackhead so I could get his gold, but he bit me and got away. Oh, no. I hope it's not like a zombie where, you know, in a short amount of time, you'll become a leprechaun. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for Terrence. So, of course, if he became a leprechaun, you'd know where all the gold is. So take it or leave it. Gotta take the good with the bad. All right, so I think I'm all caught up on the chats from what I can see. Bonehead says Akira Takarada. It was Ogata in the original Godzilla. Oh, okay. I don't know that character offhand, but you said the original Godzilla, which to me is still, it ranks up there as one of my favorites. I mean, I really enjoy the original. Um, John says Mr. Takarada was in the first Godzilla movie and was the naval officer. Oh, got it. Okay, cool. Glam says hi, Diana. Bonehead, my favorite skull in the house. Lisa Ann says, who has seen the movie Leprechaun? I have. I remember one St. Patrick's Day many years ago. Probably almost 20 years ago now. Me and some other guys that I was working with, we got together and we sat and had a Leprechaun movie marathon. It's been 20 years. I'm not in a big rush to do it again. Yeah. What's his name? Warwick. What's that guy's name? The actor who plays Leprechaun. Something Warwick. I don't know why I can't think of his name. But he played the Ewok. Gosh, I can't even think the Ewok's name. I don't know. It's supposed to be like the head Ewok, the main Ewok character on Return of the Jedi. He's been in a lot of the Star Wars movies. Apparently something that doesn't stick out all that much, but he's been in a lot of movies. Terrence says, the bite area is infected and my arm is turning green, Brian. Turning green, okay. I keep saying top of the morning to everyone. I don't know, you got to keep an eye on that. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good at all. Brad says, I won't be here next Saturday. I won't even get to watch the NCAA basketball final tournament or even night one of WWE WrestleMania 38 because my wife and I are going to be performing at Gliding Stars on Ice show at Mercyhurst Ice Arena in Erie, PA. Wish us luck next week. You're going to be performing. What are you going to be doing? What's that mean? Gliding Stars on Ice show. Wow. Do tell more. We need to know. We need more information here, Brad. But best of luck to you and your wife. That sounds like a neat thing to be going to. Terrence says, I own all the Leprechaun movies. Yeah, there's a man who enjoys pain and embraces it. Bonus is, oh, shucks, Miss Glam, you're a sweetheart. Hope you're enjoying your St. Patty's weekend. All right. Warwick Davis, that's it. Okay, Terrence, thank you, Terrence. Warwick Davis. Terrence says, I'm shrinking, Brian. Oh, no. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you, laddie. Dan says he was in the original Godzilla versus Mothra, Monster Zero, Godzilla Final Wars. He had a bit part in the 2014 version, but it was edited out. Now, when he was in, thank you, Dan, when he was in all those movies, did he play the same character? Was he this naval commander guy in all these, or did he play different characters? I'm curious if he was a reoccurring character. Brad says, I mean, 2 weeks. Sorry about that. That's Saturday, April 2nd. Sorry about that. Ah, okay. Maybe I misread that. That's cool, though. Brad says, not next week. I'll be here next week. Don't worry. Very cool. Lisa Ann says, that's it, Warwick. I could remember his last name. And he was in Willow with Val Kilmer, directed by Ron Howard. I don't know if you remember that. That came out in like the late 80s, 87-ish or something like that. Bonehead says, no, he played different characters. Ah, okay. All right. Well, that's cool that he was involved in that many movies. He must have enjoyed himself. That'd be kind of fun being on a Godzilla movie. Okay, now speaking of movies, The Munsters. Rob Zombie is doing the Munsters movie, and that's going to be coming out later this year. And I had this all set up in the queue last week, and I got to talking and rambling on about something else. And it was one of the topics that I was going to put to discuss. But Cassandra Peterson, Elvira, of course we know her as Elvira, but this is a picture of her, her character in the Munsters. That's going to be coming up in the Munsters. She'll be playing Barbara Carr, #1 real estate agent in Mockingbird Heights. So, little different seeing Cassandra Peterson outside of the Elvira costume there. But that's going to be her, and she's going to be appearing in the Munsters, the movie by Rob Zombie, which will be, it says late in 2022. I can only imagine that it would be coming out in October-ish. I think that would be a pretty good idea to do that. But I wanted to bring that up last week, and I totally forgot. We were talking about something else. So, but there you have it. Cassandra Peterson and the Munsters. So, anybody they have any plans to see that movie? Okay, Brad says, well, Gliding Stars on Ice is an ice skating practice program for people with disabilities. Oh, I didn't know what it was, but it sounds like a neat thing to do. But not so much for me because I can't ice skate. But if you're willing to take that chance, you and your wife, best of luck to you. That's cool. I assume they're raising money for some type of organization. Paul says, hey family, how are you all doing tonight? Hey Paul, thanks for joining us. There he is. Lisa Ann says, sounds cool, disabled here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of that, Brad, and that's not that far away. Not really I guess from my neck of the woods, so best of luck to you there, and don't get hurt. I can only imagine me on ice skates. Paul says, love the shirt, Brian. Thank you. This was, as a haunt owner and operator for many years, every June we used to go to something called the Midwest Haunters Convention. I've mentioned this on here before, but if you're new and you haven't heard this before, we used to go to this every June. It was for like 3 days, and 2 days, and then we left on the third. But it was kind of cool because these major haunts would open up their haunted houses, and they'd bus us in, all the haunt owners, and we'd get to go through. We'd get to tour their haunted houses, so that was pretty cool. I miss it. The last one I went to was 2014, and then they stopped having it in Columbus, Ohio. So that's where it was. It was in the Columbus Center in Columbus, Ohio, and they stopped having them. So, or they moved it. They moved it to Chicago, so right outside of Chicago, which I'm not going to go that far to do this, but I miss it. I had a lot of fun. Dan says different characters. He was news reporter, an astronaut, and a prime minister. All right, so he was working his way up, I guess. Well, I guess the astronaut would be the highest. Paul says, how you doing, Glam? Lisa Ann says, I met Elvira once at Knott's. Oh, really? Yeah, she was. I wonder if she still do that? I don't know. I know she's been involved in in Knott's Scary Farm. Is that what it's for many years? She had a regular routine that she would do there, kind of like her little Vegas, you know. Um, that's cool. Bonehead says they'll probably release the monsters for Christmas. Uh, Cassandra says I definitely want to see it. Tom says I'm ice skate challenged. Yeah, me too. You and me both. Glam says doing well, Paul. Thanks. Hope you're having a super weekend. Terrence says I saw a Hulu movie called Fresh from this year. It stars Sebastian Stan. It's a fun little horror movie. I recommend it. 4 out of 5 stars. That's cool. Sebastian Stan. A lot of people thought that he was going to take over. If some of you don't know, that's the actor who played the Winter Soldier, Bucky. You know, he played Bucky in Captain America with Chris Evans, the Marvel movie, and then later he was the Winter Soldier, which is who he plays now. But a lot of people wanted him to play Mark Hamill's or Luke Skywalker because he somewhat resembled a younger Mark Hamill. But I really like what they're doing right now with whatever technique, deep fake technique they're doing now. It's spot on. I mean, you couldn't. The only thing better would be to actually get a young Mark Hamill and bring him into the show. So I just thought I'd mention that in case you didn't know it. I know it, so you should too. Bonehead says, I grew up in Canada. We all skate up there, lol. Let's see. Terrence says, Paul, top of the morning to you. Oh, yeah, Paul. Terrence is, I guess he's some kind of becoming a leprechaun. So he's we're keeping our fingers crossed for you there, Terrence. Our shamrocks are crossed and wishing you goodwill. Brad says, it's a good program. Their show that we practice since September will start Saturday, April 2nd at 7. You've been practicing this since September, is that right? Wow. Let's see. Pulse's got a new number, 202 area code. We'll call you tomorrow. Oh, okay. 202 area code. Well, I'm glad to see that then, because if I see a number that I don't recognize most of the time, I don't pick it up. I let it go. I figure if they know me, then it'll go to voicemail, and then I can return the call, which I've done before. But all right. Thanks for the heads up there. Tom says, I lived in Nova Scotia. I got kicked out because I couldn't skate. Really? Oh, that must be one of them Americans. Get them off the ice. They don't know how to skate. Terrence says, Brian, there's a Canadian in chat. Get him out of here. Paul says, Jack is lonely tonight. Jack is never lonely with chillersonly.com. I don't know. I was trying to. That took way too many seconds for me to come up with a little. I was trying to think of that matchmaking thing. Never mind. It just took too long. The joke it spoiled. Bonin says the trolls are back. I reported them. Are they? Okay. Well, you must have got them bumped out of here because I didn't see them. And I'm glad you said that, because really I can only see like a little section. I can only see 3 chats at a time, where before I'm seeing like a whole page. So I appreciate that. I can't see what's I can't see what's up ahead unless I'm keeping up with every single chat, which I can't do. So that's cool. I'm glad you did that. Glam says the Leprechaun movies are full of cheesy goodness and love his accent. Yeah, you know that Jennifer Aniston, who played on Friends and a million other movies since then. I think that was her debut appearance. Was on Leprechaun. I think that was her very first movie. You guys remember that? Yeah, that was her. That was Jennifer Aniston on that movie. First Leprechaun? I think it was the first one. Paul says, that's why I told you I'll bring you up to date. Why I told you I'll bring you up to date. Okay. I'll bring you up to date. Okay. boxing. So here, Bonin says, Terrence and me both saw them. We'll knock them down. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. I don't know what it is. I don't know why we're attracting them, but the risks I take. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I knew a way to prevent it. I got all kinds of security on my computer, but you know, when you get into YouTube, I don't know. I don't know how to prevent them. I don't know if there is a way to prevent them. Anybody know? I mean, I'll give it a try if you could. Anybody's got suggestions? Terrence says, saw the 2021 Japanese road drama, Drive My Car. A 3-hour long movie. I loved it and recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars. Really? A 3-hour long movie called Drive My Car. Kind of, what genre are we talking here? It says road drama. Is it just that? I mean, drama or a bit of science fiction or horror or thriller? Mystery. Paul says, how is Nurse Ava? Ava is doing fantastic. She is doing good. We are all doing pretty good here. No complaints. I hope all of you are as well. Yeah, things are going really good here. And, you know, it is funny, you know, if things get a little overwhelming sometimes with all the craziness out there going on, you know what I recommend? This has worked wonders for me. I turn the news off and I don't watch it for like a week. Now I know a little bit. I keep you know, up on things relatively well, I guess, on, you know, on certain things that I'm looking at on my phone. But other than that, I really, you know, and I'm so much happier, you know, because you don't. It's good to know what's going on. I'm not saying stick your head in a hole, like, you know, and not know what's going on. But what I am saying too is, you know, you don't have to have the weight of the world, the burden of the world on your shoulders, you know, as an individual. It's not your job to do that. So just take a little bit of time. You know, I'm only bringing that up because you were asking how we're doing. And that was the only thing I can think of that was kind of weighing me down a little bit, was just getting, you know, letting that sludge, all the sludge in the world going on right now, you know, kind of starting to build up and accumulate. So do that, and I'm sure within a couple days you'll start feeling better. My 2 cents, for what it's worth, 2 cents. It's about, or Terrence says, it's about a playwright. It's about a playwright going through some turmoil in his, a playwright, okay. Going through some turmoil in his personal life. He moves and takes a new job where a lady is paid to be his driver. Okay. Interesting. You know, well, I mean, in that little synopsis there, it might not. Yeah, I have no doubt the movie is good, but you know, when you hear something like that or a synopsis like that, like, you know, you could be thinking like, oh, that doesn't sound all that interesting. But you know, look at Driving Miss Daisy, for example. You know, like, who would have thought that, you know, just reading the synopsis? I don't know what the synopsis says. I don't remember it, but I mean, but such a neat movie. So I don't know, if you say it's good, I'll take your word for it, and maybe I'll check that out if I get some time. I don't know, 3-hour movie. That's, although Ava's been watching some very long movies here lately. I'm trying to sit in there with her, but I can't. I'm not as good at that, you know, unless I'm really super into a movie. I lose interest like pretty easily at times. That's cool. Paul says, also, can you please play the movie Undertaker and His Pals? I could. It is public domain. That one is public domain. I do happen to know that because I see it all the time when I'm scrolling through the list. So I mean, that's a possibility. maybe that's when Brian will uh, do the next the next. Oh, that's right. We got to have a live show coming up. Let's do that soon. Let's do that soon. But it says, I do stick my head in the hole. I'm totally clueless as to what's going on in the world. You're probably a little happier for it. Because you don't know what's going on anyways, even when they tell you. But without going off on that, yeah. Brad says, my wife participated in gliding stars ice skating practice since 2015 and 16. I participated since 2016 and 17. We've been doing it every year since. Well, unfortunately, the 2019 and 20 and 20 and 21 was canceled due to COVID. Ah, okay, but you, that's interesting. I wasn't aware of that, but that sounds like a neat thing, and best of luck to you. I hope you guys have a great time. Terrence says playwright. Yeah, I saw that. I got it. I caught up. Terrence says it's really good. It's mostly in Japanese, but some dialogue is in English, Korean, Mandarin, and sign language. I was shocked at how much I loved it. It's really heartwarming. That's cool. Ava is watching. We've been watching. There's a lot of foreign films on Netflix. She likes choosing a lot of movies on Netflix, and I'll be honest. Like sometimes I see them, and I just like I have no interest at all. And then I start watching it. It's like, oh, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. But I think the trick is just reeling me in long enough for me to sit in place so that I can start watching the movie. But that's cool. That's a long movie. She's watching right now. Ava, I don't know if you're. I don't think she's watching right now because there's. I think she's got some. I think there's some company out there. Her boy and his girlfriend. So, but yeah, she's watching some movie called. I don't even know why I set that up because I don't know what it's called. I don't know the name. And why did I even start with that? I don't know. But it's on Netflix and it's a movie. So if you can narrow it down from there, let's see. Paul said, "What's the lineup tonight?" Funny you should say that. I just looked over at the time and saw it's time to put the schedule up. So here we go. 9 o'clock. The movie is House on Haunted Hill. I put that one up because one of the somebody locally here who watches the program had mentioned about House on Haunted Hill, saying I should play that. So we've actually covered that one. We've played that on here before, but I'll put that on this week. So we're playing that at 9 o'clock, 10:30. The movie is The Mad Monster. The Mad Monster, 12:05. ChillerNight Theater. I guess I don't have to say ChillerNight Theater. I'm sure you all know, but we'll have it. Track of the Moon Beast at 12:05 and 1:40 a.m. ChillerNight Theater. The movie is Terror Creatures from the Grave. There you have it. Pretty good lineup. I like it, and I hope you do too. So, Terrence says 3 hours is pretty long. I didn't think I was going to make it, but the movie was so good, time just flew by. Really? That's pretty impressive, actually. I mean, to be, sitting there in a 3-hour movie like that, that's just so tough for me to do. That's so tough for me. Because I think for me, it's because I have an occupation now to where all I do is sit, and I'm thankful for my job. I mean, it's a good job, but I'm not used to that. Or I wasn't used to that. I mean, it's been 6.5 years, so I mean, I'm pretty used to it by now. But I try to keep exercising and do what I can to not get too out of shape, because it'd be easy to do, really, really easy to do. But I guess so. You know, when I get off work, you know, sometimes Ava is ready to watch a movie, and it's like I just spent a day, you know, in my mind, like a whole day sitting already, and I just want to do something other than that. So, um, but that's cool about the 3 hour movie and not getting bored. It must have been a good movie. Glam says, I prefer certain genres of movie and stick to that mostly, but will shift gears for an actor. Tom Curry can do no wrong. Swoon. That's cool. See, I'm taking it. I'm really gonna really reach out here and I take it you love horror. Any other? What are for some of your obviously horror because you're here. So I'm guessing a lot of you love horror movies. But what are some of your other some other favorites? Mine would have to be I like action. I like thrillers. I've been liking those lately. Don't ask me the titles because I can't remember from one day to the next what they are, but I'll sit there and I'll watch one with Ava and I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. You know, um, kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. I like that stuff. Um, Tom says, watch the original Planet of the Apes again today. Forgot what an amazing flick that is. Yeah, that was so good. You know, it's funny. I was watching that. This was like 20 some years ago. I just remember watching that and thinking, you know, that has such um, I don't know, like the how do I want to say it? The twisting at the end, you know, the ironic, you know, ending, you know, like the Twilight Zones, you know. And I remember sitting there watching that, thinking, wow, that reminds me so much of Rod Serling. And then I saw in the credits, like, oh, Rod Serling is involved here. Okay, well, that made a lot of sense. Um, and I know, I think it was based off of was it based off of a book? I don't even know that. As much as I love that movie, all the movies and the series and all that stuff, I grew up just loving Planet of the Apes, but I don't remember that much of it. But as far as was it based off of a book? I don't know. I have to look that up. Terrence says Planet of the Apes is a classic. Yes. Brad says my wife and I like to go ice skating practice because it takes our mind off of what's going on in the outside world, especially the bad, negative stuff like the war between Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, turn off the news and go ice skating, you know. I don't blame you. Tom says Rod Serling adapted the screenplay. That is part of its greatness. Okay. Now I wonder if should I look it up? I don't know. I kind of hate to take because I don't want you guys to be bored while I'm sitting there looking stuff up, but maybe after this I'll look it up. But whether it was actually based on something, and if so, did it have that ending with the Statue of Liberty? You know, and him, you know, Taylor finding out that he had actually gone into the future. I wonder if that's the case. I don't know. I don't know how Taylor didn't realize he was still on Earth. I don't know how. Do you mean to tell me that you're gonna just go to a far distant planet, you know, and coincidentally, you're gonna meet up with these aliens that speak English? They spoke English. What are the odds? You know, I when you start putting that together in your head, you know, wait a minute, I would think so. But anyways, Terrence says some of my favorite non-horror movies that are really long are Gone with the Wind. Perfect. Lawrence of Arabia, Doctor Zhivago, and Titanic. Um, Gone with the Wind, obviously a fantastic movie. One of my favorite movies is Casablanca. I love that movie. I wish I had a hangout like Rick's place. Rick, of course, played by Humphrey Bogart, but That is, I love that movie. It's one of my favorites of all time. So that's neat. Gone with the Wind. That's a fantastic movie. I love watching Gone with the Wind. I can't. I gotta wait. I gotta wait. Like the last time Ava and I watched that was probably, I'm guessing, 10 years ago, eight, eight, 10 years ago, something like that. And I'd be ready to watch it again. It's not one that I can watch like once a year or nothing like that. But um, I enjoy that one. The Quiet Man with John Wayne. Um, yeah, Gone with the Wind. That's a very good movie. Of course, you know, I love westerns too. But yeah, Casablanca is one of my all-time favorite movies. David says my favorite thrillers are by Alfred Hitchcock. Very cool. Yeah. Can't do better than Alfred Hitchcock with a thriller. Paul says Alien and Die Hard are best Christmas movies ever. Yeah. Terrence says, Brian, is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? Die Hard is, you know what it is? It's what you want it to be. In my opinion, I hear that. It's kind of funny, the the debate whether it's a Christmas movie. I happen to think that it's an action movie that takes place during Christmas, like Batman Returns. Is that a Christmas movie? Maybe it is. Maybe people consider that a Christmas movie, but it's not. The theme isn't Christmas. Christmas is in the movie. You know, if they were working on a way to save Christmas at the end of the movie, or how to get that perfect gift for little Annie, then that would make it a Christmas movie in my eyes. But you guys think of it however you want. But Paul says yes, it is. Glam says usually love terrible comedy. Sometimes I have the maturity and sense of humor of a 12-year-old boy, right? Tom says Pierre Boulle wrote the book. I don't know if I'm saying that last name. Boulle wrote the book. Okay, so it was okay. I thought I remembered that it was based off of a novel. So that's cool. That's cool. Terrence says there's two kinds of people in the world: people who think Die Hard is here we go is a Christmas movie, and people who are wrong. Oh, okay. People who think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and people who are wrong. I see. Glam says I adore British humor. Ah, me too. And his accents. I think I'm sensing a theme here. I grew up. Now I used to love um, Monty Python's Flying Circus and Dave Allen. I used to always listen to Dave Allen. Although, was he British or was he Irish? I don't recall off the top of my head, but I used to watch him like all the time. Dave Allen, Monty Python, Benny Hill. Remember Benny Hill? I used to love that stuff. Tom says Boulet was French, so I doubt it had that ending. Oh, yeah, that's true. Paul says also Airplane, great comedy movie of all time, right? Terrence says love Casablanca too. Own it on Blu-ray. Yeah, I've had that one since as far back as I can remember. Well, since they've had VHS. Britcoms, oh yeah. Bonehead says. Britcoms. You know which one I've watched? Speaking of British, is what's his name? It's a British comedian, Richard Gervais. Afterlife on Netflix. If you have Netflix, check that out. It's a really good show. It's uh, dramedy, if you want to call it that, the comedy and drama. It's I mean mostly comedy, but it's of a serious topic. That this guy, he loses his wife, and it's about him coping with that. Afterlife is the name of it. But man, what a fantastic actor Richard Gervais is. And I've seen him in many other things, but I've watched a lot of his stand-up, like on YouTube, catching it on YouTube. But man, I don't know if this guy's ever even had any formal training in acting, but he's very, very good, very entertaining, and hilarious. Terrence says, Gone with the Wind runs almost 4 hours. Yeah. Tom says, I love all Bogart movies. Yeah, I know. He was just something. I enjoy those movies with him in it. David says, I enjoy Humphrey Bogart movies. Terrence says, Mr. Bean is one of my favorite Britcoms, Bonehead. Bonehead says, John Wayne or Clint Eastwood, and I'm going to be watching it. John Wayne or Clint Eastwood, and I'm going to be watching it. Well, you're asking me which one I like better. I don't know how, if that's what you're asking me, I don't know if I can answer that. But I will say my initial thought is John Wayne, just because, but that's not to take anything away from, if I have to pick one, I'm going to say John Wayne, but that's a tough one. I don't say that lightly. And I might, if you ask me again in an hour, I might say Clint Eastwood. And I only say that because of the more of the nostalgia. I grew up watching Clint Eastwood too, but I can probably say I watched more John Wayne movies with my dad when I was growing up. So to me, there's a nostalgia there, kind of like this whole chiller thing. You know, I love it because not necessarily the the particular movie that we're watching, although it's entertaining. You know, it's fun if you're in that frame of mind where it's just a lot of fun. But there's that nostalgia attached to it, and so that's the basis of my answer. If that's what you were even asking me, I think it was. Glam says you're right. Paul, Shirley Airplane is a good movie. It is, and Don't Call Me Shirley. Tom says GWTW has a break built into the middle of the film. It's so long. Oh, Gone with the Wind. Okay. I know, they have that intermission. PBR Street Gang, Die Hard, a Christmas movie. That's what we were talking about there. Thanks for joining us. We were just talking about that. I don't know. I'm going to say an action movie that takes place during Christmas. And I explained it a little bit earlier, but what do you guys think? What do you think, PBR Street Gang? Yippee-ki-yay, Brad says. Hello, by the way, PBR. Oh, well, hey, thanks for joining us. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think? David says, it snows in Citizen Kane. Is it a Christmas movie? Yeah. Right. Good point. Bonehead says, oh, yes, Terrence, they have so many great comedies, it would be hard to list them all. I like Britcoms better than anything on U.S. TV nowadays. Tom says, I believe Die Hard came out in July, which made the Christmas theme pretty cool. I didn't know that. Oh, here we go with more of these. All right. I saw some more of that spam. Unless that's what you guys were talking about earlier. I don't think so, though. I think I would have seen them by now. But yeah, we had those trolls or something pop up there. Tom says, my favorite is the original Ben-Hur silent flick. Has the best chariot race ever filmed. Is that right? Now, I didn't know that there was one before. Wasn't Charlton Heston in Ben-Hur? Speaking of that, the Ten Commandments. That's a really good movie. Enjoy that one. We were last Easter, or no, a couple Easters ago. I like to watch that stuff, like The Greatest Story Ever Told, and around Easter time. And we were going to watch that one a couple of years ago. In fact, it was the Easter of 2 years ago when all this broke out. And we were going to watch that one, and we ended up watching the Ten Commandments. So I can tell you, I saw that 2 years ago, the Ten Commandments. That's a good one. Oh, but I was saying about Ben-Hur. Yeah, was the one with Charlton Heston, not the original? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Glam says Python rules. I quote them way too much, but can always relate to something to one of their skits. Yeah. David says, "What's your favorite line in Casablanca?" Uh, when I don't know if it's my favorite, but the first one that popped in my head is when you know Bogart's got the gun pointed at Claude Rains' character and says, "I'll shoot you right through the heart," and Claude Rains' character says, "That is my least vulnerable spot." I just I love his character in there. Uh, just a great movie, and the dialogue is fantastic. Um, Paul says, "Have to go. See you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Call you tomorrow, Brian. Love you, family." Oh, okay. All right, Paul. Well, you have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Apparently, so let's have a good night. Terrence says, Ricky Gervais is hilarious. I love his skewering of celebrities at the Golden Globes. I know, wasn't that? That was fantastic. I love that. Pony says, "No, Brian. I was just saying that I will watch any movie with Duke or Clint in it." Oh, okay. I thought you were like, sometimes it'll say, um, Pop Tarts or Golden Grams, go. And you got to think of the. But if you're asking me, like a John Wayne movie, one of my favorite of John Wayne is El Dorado. I just love that movie. Him and Robert Mitchum. A very young James Caan is in that movie. Ed Asner's in it. Just passed away not too long ago, in his 90s. I love that movie. I think it's a good one. Check it out if you get a chance. I'd recommend it. Clint, of course, I love the. I'll tell you, out of the trilogy, I love the good, the bad, the ugly. But my next one after that is For a Few Dollars More. I love that movie with he and Lee Van Cleef in it. Terrence says, "Brian, you're being outvoted on Die Hard." All right. Uh, John says to David, "Round up the usual suspects." I forget the reference there, but David would know. Let's see. Brad says, "Nothing compares with Scrooge with Bill Murray." Ava loves that movie. Playing as executive director that brought us Santa Claus and the elves using machine guns to ward off the bad guys, right? Or Robert Below singing Christmas songs in a pilgrimage in river in the Cajun desert, LOL. I don't know of that one, that second one. I'm not familiar with that one, but um, I remember this thing about Scrooge singing Christmas songs on a pilgrimage in river in the Cajun desert. Okay. Was that part of the movie? I don't know if that's a separate movie or not. I'm not familiar with that. But it sounds enticing. Terrence says, "There's been two Ben-Hur movies. One is black and white silent, and the 50s with Heston, the Heston one. Same for the Ten Commandments." What? Now I'm learning all kinds of stuff tonight. That's interesting. I did not know that about the Ten Commandments was a silent movie. They had a silent movie. I didn't know that. Interesting. I'm so far behind in my comments. I'm sorry if I'm not getting your. Um, Terrence says, "Yes, Tom. The chariot racing scene was pretty suspenseful and thrilling." David says, "Did you like the remake of True Grit?" I've not seen the remake. I've scrolled past it a few times. Almost clicked on it. With Jeff Daniels, I think, is in that one, right? I've not seen that one, not yet. I have to check it out though. Tom says, "First Ben-Hur was 1925. Heston's was 1959. That's really cool. I did not know that. Terrence says, "Shane's my favorite Western with the Searchers a close second." Searchers. Oh, okay. Very good movie. PBR, Street Gang. Atari is a good movie by J.W. Atari is? I've not seen that. Terrence says, Casablanca quote, round up the usual suspects. Oh, that. Okay, I thought you were talking about something else, or I wasn't sure what you talking about. PVR says or True Grit. Brad says 10 minutes until Chiller Night Theater. Bonin says, wow, where did time go? I know, I think that every week. Tom says, True Grit with John Wayne. Now that one, of course, I've seen, but I didn't see the remake. I haven't seen the remake of it. So, Tom says, True Grit remake is decent. Daniels is not in it. Who's the what's the name of the actor? What actor's in that? I'm thinking of his name wrong. I can picture the actor. I can't think of. Bonin says, well, to quote Red Green, you all keep your sticks on the ice, and we'll see you next week. Good night and God bless you. All right, Bonehead, you have a good night. Who is the actor who Jeff Bridges? PBR Street Gang, Jeff Bridges. Is not in it. Oh, Jeff Bridges. That's it, Jeff Bridges. Okay. Because even when I was looking at them, thinking, okay, Bridges, not Daniels. Okay. I could picture him, but I was thinking of the wrong last name. Terrence says, good night. God bless Chiller Night Theater peeps. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. All right. Well, we hope the best for you, Terrence, and we'll be anxious to hear what happens to you throughout the course of the week, and maybe we'll hear from you next week. Take care of that bite. All right. I'll put the schedule back up again here in just a few minutes. Just a few minutes. 9 p.m. House on Haunted Hill, starring, of course, the late, great master of the macabre, Vincent Price. 10:30, the movie is The Mad Monster. 12:05, the movie is Track of the Moon Beast. Now, if you've not seen that one, I hope you get a chance to check it out. That's actually a pretty good movie. And I'm not saying that like I'm surprised. No, we only put the best quality and caliber of movie here on Chiller Night Theater. 1:40 in the morning, terror creatures from the grave. So there you go. There's our lineup for tonight. Tom says Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon. Okay. I didn't know Matt Damon was in it, but Jeff Bridges. John says, you have been watching Chiller Night Pre-Show with Brian Hug. This is Crozak the Grand. Remind you to leave a shot of whiskey for the leprechauns, or else you'll get hit with a Sialea. What? Until next Saturday night, stay chilled, keep thrilled. Okay, well, I'm not familiar with what that is, but it doesn't sound good, so we don't want to take any chances. Everybody, I implore you, like John said, put your whiskey out, for God's sake. We don't want those leprechauns getting upset. Although, I mean, it's days past, but still, couldn't hurt. Bonet says, and now for something different. Have a good night, Miss Glam Fangs. Now for something completely different. Brad says 5 minutes until Chiller Night Theater. Get your computers ready. Time flies by fast. Yes, it does. At 8:57, it is, Tom says, good night, all until next week. Good night. Good night. And, I think we'll be putting a cap on this particular episode, but thank you everybody for joining me and with joining each other for another Chiller Night pre-show. Good things happening, good things in motion. Keep the positive vibes and kick the negative ones to the curb. That's my advice to you this week and every week. So with that, have a good night. Have a good Chiller Night. We'll see you next week.